CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you decided to join us on this Wednesday. A trial is underway in Sudbury for a young person charged with murder 3 years ago at a sports bar. CTV's Angela Gemmell was in court today and has more.
The young person on trial can't be identified, but they're charged with murder in connection to an April 2023 shooting. 22-year-old Joe Cabigan was shot and killed inside Overtime Sports Bar and Grill when it was located on Notre Dame Avenue. First to take the stand was Detective Constable Mark Belanger with Greater Sudbury Police. He spoke about surveillance videos from that night as well as evidence found by investigators. According to Belanger, the videos show the shooting inside the bar when other patrons and staff were nearby. There's also exterior footage of someone running down the street afterwards. Evidence includes a discarded satchel containing a handgun found by the police canine unit several blocks from the scene. Another witness testified he'd been with the victim at the time of the shooting and describes an altercation beforehand between a group of men and the victim. Due to safety and fairness, the judge issued a temporary publication ban on the names of two witnesses set to testify. Also under that ban is the name of a second suspect who still remains at large, wanted for several offenses, including being party to murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The trial at the Sudbury courthouse was supposed to be tried by a jury, but due to Monday's snowstorm, will now be decided by Justice Susan Stoddard. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Let's talk weather now, and it was a chilly morning. Things warmed up, but the wind is making things feel colder. For more details about the cold and snow, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, let me be perfectly honest with you. I went for a brief stroll this afternoon and I thought, you know what, this kind of reminds me of mid-January with the wind chill and the snow and what have you, but it's not. It's mid-March, and here we go with our forecast, our systems map, courtesy of CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. We've got some flurry activity, as you can see, moving into Northeastern Ontario. And again, that trend will continue this evening. We'll take a look at some of the flurries that will be prevalent this evening and overnight. And again, the 5-day forecast and a lot more. Some snow off and on next couple of days, maybe even some sleet. And then we get some sunshine, Tony. I know you like that. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Greater Sudbury Police are warning motorists today about the reduced visibility because of snowbanks. In a social media post, police say motorists and pedestrians alike need to watch out for one another as the high snowbanks make it difficult to see what's coming. Adding to this, most of the city's sidewalks have not been plowed yet, leaving pedestrians to walk on the shoulder or on the road. Police are telling pedestrians to walk facing oncoming traffic, stay as close to the curb as possible, and wear bright or reflective clothing. One person died at Sudbury's homeless encampment last night. Police responded to the call about a sudden death around 11 p.m. Foul play is not suspected, and police are working with the coroner's office to confirm the cause of death. A North Bay man is facing charges in connection with a $500,000 fraud case. OPP began investigating in January this year into the theft of materials from a large industrial operation northeast of Cochrane. An internal audit revealed that over a 2.5-year to 3-year period, several items were obtained through company purchasing channels and shipped off-site to North Bay for personal use. To read more on this story, go to CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. A push for slower streets is making its way to Sudbury's City Hall. A new report suggests dropping the speed limit to 40 kilometers per hour in residential areas. CTV's Amanda Hicks has the details.
Sudbury City Council is reviewing a proposal to drop the default residential speed limit from 50 kilometers per hour down to 40. Under the Ontario Highway Traffic Act, 50 is the current standard, but some residents say that's too fast for a neighborhood.
There's so many people on this earth and in this city that don't know how to drive. The speed limit at 40 kilometers an hour, I think people have got to learn to go back and get their license redone.
I just moved about a year ago, but coming from Toronto and noticing the difference and I've seen some accidents, even a partner of mine, he was in an accident. I wouldn't mind that reduction.
It could definitely be beneficial, like even just most side roads in general. I know, 50 kilometers an hour in a residential neighborhood is definitely not necessary.
This isn't the first time the gateway speed limit concept has been pitched. A 2023 pilot project collected data on the move, but council ultimately rejected the idea last year.
The report shows that it doesn't actually work. So that's a problem. So, I hate to take $260,000 from reserves on a program that I don't think is going to help the situation.
The city would pull the money from a reserve fund built up by speed camera fines, revenue collected before the province banned the technology last year. While some see a cost, road safety advocates see safety benefits.
Speed's been proven to be one of the primary determinants in terms of collisions or significant injuries on roadways. And when we get people to slow down, fewer people are hurt or killed on the roads. It's really that simple.
An additional part of the plan involves school zones. It suggests raising the baseline limit to 40 kilometers per hour, but using flashing beacons to drop it back to 30 during school hours.
That's even more confusing to drivers, Oh, what time of day is it? Are kids in school? What speed can I go here and there?
The proposal is expected to head to the Operations Committee this Monday, and if approved, will go before City Council for a final vote. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
And Sudbury's snow budget was $1.3 million in the red even before Monday's storm. A report heading to the Operations Committee Monday details how the city is over budget. According to its authors, there were 4 major snow events in January, while the total January accumulation was below the 5-year average for the same period. There was an additional 14 millimeters of rain. The cost of this past storm won't be known for a couple of months. However, there is a reserve fund to pay for shortfalls over the winter. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5. Rick has your full weather forecast, but right now we're off to the mouth of the Mishpicotton River. This live webcam is courtesy of the municipality of Wawa. It is -5 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
Country 91.7. Sudbury's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Just a weather heads up, Wawa dealing with all kinds of flurry activity. Flurries at times heavy, 10 to 15 centimeters for today, continuing into this evening. And let's take a look at some of that flurry activity right now as it spans Northeastern Ontario. I like that, spanning Northeastern Ontario. And again, the system will continue into Friday with periods of snow as well. So we'll get you caught up now on the forecast for the next couple of days. Sudbury Nickel Belt. Here we go with a chance of flurries for tomorrow at +1 Greater Sudbury Nickel Belt. Periods of snow on Friday, 2 degrees. Chance of sleet, so rain, snow. Flip a coin, 50-50. Here we go, 3 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, some cloud cover, -1. Here comes the sun, as George Harrison once sang. Again, 0 the expected high for Monday. I like that. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma. Chance flurries for tomorrow, +1. 5 on Friday. Rain or snow. Saturday, chance of rain or snow at 70%. 6 degrees. 6 degrees. I like that a lot. Then we go with the sunshine Sunday and Monday, -1 and +1. So again, as I promised Tony yesterday, there will be some sun. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Chance of flurries for tomorrow at 40%, -1. Periods of snow on Friday, +1. 3 degrees on Saturday, 70% chance of snow, and some cloud cover on Sunday at -6. Your evening temperatures vary from -10, -11, -17, then back to, well, some normalcy by -8 on Monday evening. And of course, the sunshine. Mr. Sunshine will make an appearance to start things off next week with a daytime high of 0. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, chance of flurries at +1, -11 tomorrow night though. Friday, periods of snow, +1. Chance of sleet, rain or snow on Saturday at 3 degrees. -4 on Sunday, some cloud cover, dropping down to -16 overnight on Sunday evening. Monday, we've got the return of sunshine and a daytime high of 0. Should be a nice start. Everyone back at school, back to work and what have you. And why not add some sunshine to your life? North Bay, West Nipissing, chance of flurries tomorrow at +1. Periods of snow on Friday, also +1. Chance of sleet at 70% on Saturday, +4, +1 on Sunday with the cloud. And Monday, Mr. Sunshine returns, Tony, with a high of -1. So you wanted some sunshine yesterday. You've got some sunshine. We're going to have to put up with some flurry activity, a little bit of snow in the interim, but a great start to next week. Tony, back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Some residents on Manitoulin Island have been without power since Monday morning due to the storm. Hydro One officials say restoration has been delayed due to weather conditions and getting crews where they need to go. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Hydro One officials say outages started to occur around 4 a.m. on Monday.
Since then, crews have restored power to more than 162,000 customers.
She says there are still approximately 430 customers affected by 26 outages on the island, while there are a few pockets in Sudbury affecting 77 customers. She says the challenge with restoration has been getting crews to where they need to go, especially with major highway closures.
They use snowmobiles where they could and off-road equipment to start getting customers back, getting back their power on Monday. We've got reports of one line, it had 50 trees down. So significant damage. One of the other challenges that they're facing when they're working is just that trees and ice continue to come down.
As for those affected by the storm,
I've got the fireplace going. Elderly neighbor, bit of a concern next door that she's cold. It doesn't have the the generator or the propane, so we're all taking care of her. I really respect them at this time, that's for sure. They're just working so hard. And I never would complain about not having hydro because it's not anyone's fault.
And don't forget about the animals.
We have about 50 full-time animals who live on this property. Animals like horses have to constantly be grazing in order to keep themselves warm, which means that they also need access to water. So water is always our primary concern, especially during a power outage. We're very fortunate that we have multiple generators that we are using to not only be able to continue to pump water to fill the troughs, but also to keep them heated. So a lot of people might not realize that cold water can be just as dangerous as no water.
Hydro One has an outage map available on their website, which is updated every 10 minutes. Officials say the hope is to have all power restored at some point today. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Timmins Library's main branch will be closed until further notice. The city saying today the main branch on 2nd Avenue closed as of 5 p.m. today because of snow accumulation on the building's roof, which requires immediate removal. The CM Shield Centennial branch in South Porcupine is still open Monday to Saturday. A reopening date for the main branch will be shared as soon as it's available. They did what they could. Coming up on CTV News at 5. Staff and volunteers pitch in to weather the weekend storm at the Energy Court Warming Center in Sudbury. The North Shore Health Network is advising the closure of Thessalon's emergency department. The closure is for tomorrow and Friday. The Thessalon site's ED will reopen Saturday at 8 a.m. Sioux Area Hospital and the Blind River and Richards Landing sites remain open. Telehealth and virtual access to a nurse practitioner are available. For medical emergencies, call 911. The Energy Court encampment in Sudbury is recovering from the extreme weather this week. CTV's Madison Merrier has more on that.
Go Give staff members were at the Energy Court Warming Center throughout the storm.
I'm so proud of how our staff handled it. The compassion that was brought through and, just the sheer grit of everybody was incredible. And because of that, we were able to keep the center open and tend to a total of, or an average, I should say, of up to 40 individuals at a time throughout the storm.
The weather prevented some staff from getting to the warming center, but it also restricted them from leaving.
They were all supporting each other. Community was helping support some of the roles within the center, so they were taking turns trying to rest as much as they possibly could. But essentially, you know, even with that rest, they were working very, very long hours and together supporting each other. So it was an incredible movement.
Volunteers also showed up to help community members stay warm after another cold day today.
We get together to share the hope of Jesus and the love of God, and to give snacks and hot chocolate to the homeless. And we just know that this is a struggling time, so we want to be there for them.
We can continue to use winter supplies until, you know, we get a break in the weather and until the snow kind of disappears. So things like hand warmers, snacks, non-perishable snacks, they're always in so demand, and we're going through them quite quickly with the elements right now.
Ali says the organization has felt the community support, allowing them to stay open during the storm and on a day-to-day basis.
There are a lot of people, you know, like us that are, you know, trying to make a difference, obviously. And it's amazing to come down here because you get to know people.
We are so grateful for that. And overall, like I said, we just felt so supported by both the city and the community. So we're really grateful for that, because that translated into the work that our staff were able to do.
Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Mother Nature has left us with some wild weather, much of which we are still digging out from since Sunday. This was the scene just down the road from the TV station. This video was sent to us from a viewer. Debbie tells us her son Paul was just trying to get out of the laneway to go to work. They hadn't seen a plow, and before they knew it, they had almost a dozen of their neighbors out pitching in. Great job there. In the Ontario Hockey League this evening, only one Northern team is on deck. The Sioux Greyhounds are in Saginaw to take on the Spirit. Game time is 7:05. This is the last weekend of regular season play for the OHL. The Greyhounds sit fourth in the standings, just 1 point ahead of the London Knights in the West. They'll be looking to hang on to home ice advantage heading into the playoffs next week. She is an accomplished author in Greater Sudbury. When we return, she has written a new set of books under a pen name. You're watching First at 5. It's a new book for a Greater Sudbury author. Lisa Kovala, under the pen name A.L. Jensen, has published a murder mystery. Lisa now joins us in Lively. Hi there.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's the title of your new book, and what is it all about?
Yeah, so this one's called Hygge and Homicide. It's the first book in the Hygge House Cozy Mystery series. It's set in fictional Lakewood. A midlife woman comes back to her town to start a new business. It's called Hygge House, sort of an event center, B&B, with her best friend. And lo and behold, on opening day, they find a body on the doorstep.
Oh, it sounds intriguing. You're also a book coach. What does that entail?
Yeah, so book coaches are, well, we perform a lot of roles, but we help people get their memoirs or their books, their novels out into the world, whether that's starting with a seed of an idea, or we're working through revisions, or sometimes when somebody has a book completely done and they, don't know where to go next, they'll hand it over to us and we'll work through that process with them. So it's like a cheerleader, but also a coach and a mentor and, editor. There's sort of a lot of jobs that you fulfill in that role.
Lisa, when it comes to your work, do you start off with a main character, or do you have a title, or do you have an ending? Describe that for us.
Yeah, I actually, for this series, I was driving from Niagara-on-the-Lake after a writing retreat back to Sudbury, and all of these ideas came just downloading. And I really did see this small town, this particular house in mind, and the characters just started to populate it. So that was really unusual, because I often write historical fiction. I published a few books, and the historical fiction sort of starts with the kernel of an idea for a historical event that I want to explore, maybe put a character in there, and then see what happens. So this was a completely new experience for me, writing the cozy.
What challenges do you face as a writer to be original or authentic? Novel after novel, book after book?
Yeah, that's a great question because I think it depends on every project as it has its own challenges. Certainly historical fiction requires a lot of research. The cozies are a little bit different. They're really focused on plot and how to integrate, this mystery and these little, red herrings and things like that. So mapping it out for me is really important at the beginning so I know where I'm headed instead of sort of discovering it. Some writers like to write and figure it out as they go along. I like a map. I think that works much better for me.
Lisa, thanks so much for your time and continued success.
Oh, thanks so much.
Lisa Kovalat joined us from Lively, and to learn more about our authors and our Northern Book Club, don't forget, head to CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. Our first community close-up comes to us from Chisholm Township, southeast of North Bay. Roger says this little guy flew into his living room. After a few minutes of tender, loving care, the downy woodpecker flew away. Thanks so much for this, Roger. We are off to Breda community south of Sudbury on Highway 69. Gorley Roy sent us these photographs. He says on this ice rain day, he spotted a Canada jay. Thanks so much for these pictures, Gorley. And let's go to Tomstown, southeast of Englehart. Kitty Lalonde emailed us this picture. She spotted a barred owl. She says, what a beautiful creature. Thanks so much for thinking of us, Kitty. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can always email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And finally, a glimmer of summer today, despite all the snow out there. Rock on the River Music Festival in Timmins has announced the country music lineup. The event is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year with multi-platinum country music star Russell Dickerson. Along with Dickerson, fans can expect 2024 CCMA Album of the Year winner Jade Eagleson, Canadian artists like Nate Holler and McKenna Givens. Rock on the River is July 24th and 25th at Hollinger Park in Timmins. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. But for now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.